Yes, the most remarkable thing about our whole type of animal is our boobs. We know that, men know that, and babies definitely know that.
Boom, guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Akira, and welcome to the Influence Lab, the place where we're reviewing influencers, politicians, celebrities, from the influence and persuasion perspective. And today, we have a very, very special topic. Today, we're going to review Natalie Portman's speech with a very, very provocative title, Step-by-Step Guide to Toppling the Patriarchy. Before making this video, I thought, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe this is a very, very aggressive title. Maybe we're going too much. And I thought that, you know what? Maybe there are other speeches that we can review. You know, I just searched for Natalie Portman's speech and I found the one, Natalie Portman Harvard commencement speech. Okay, so she was giving a speech in front of an audience, in front of the students. And I thought, you know what? Like, who cares about that? Like, what would she possibly say there? Hey guys, just be successful, follow your dreams, love what you do, let's go. Who gives a shit about that? Like, what is the possible outcome? That she will go, motivate some students, you know, they will be motivated, believing in themselves, and that's it. Where in this speech, everything is getting real, okay? Because here, instead of just motivating some students, she will be raising money. A lot of money. She also will be trying to persuade people to join the movement. And that's actually what's really worth analyzing. But before we start, I need to add one small disclaimer. I understand that the topic can be very, very polarizing. And some of you guys might agree with what she's saying. Some of you guys might not agree with what she's saying. I totally get that, okay? But here we're analyzing the speech only through the lens of influence and persuasion. So without further ado, let's jump right in. But before we start, obviously, we need to review a little bit of the context, right? What's happening here before we actually dive into the speech? So first of all, what is the context? The context is that she will be trying to raise money for the organization that is called Time's Up. So it was a non-profit organization that raised money to support victims of sexual harassment. The organization was founded on January 1st, 2018 by Hollywood celebrities in response to the Weinstein effect and the Me Too movement. As of January 2020, the organization had raised $24 million in donations. Who is the speaker? Who will be motivating the audience? Okay, right? Who will be influencing and persuading the people? Natalie Portman, right? So Oscar-winning actress, one of the most popular actresses in the world, the audience. I actually did a little bit of research and was trying to find pictures from that speech as well, right? So who were the audience in the event? And basically, these are celebrities and people who work in the movie industry, okay? Knowledge about the subject that she will be talking about is low or middle, and motivation to listen to the speech is also middle, right? So they're not really that motivated to do that, but basically there is nothing else to do, so they will be paying attention, right? So motivation is mid. Okay, so as you can see here, there's some of the pictures of people who were attending that event, okay, 7 years ago. So it's public speech, and the subject is inequality. Women make less money than men, and they're also oppressed. Okay, and the goal of all of this speech will be to inspire people to join the movement, plus also raise money. In this speech, we will hear two goals. Is that one of the goals is to raise money for this organization that we just discussed, but also she will be motivating people just to stand up and, you know, join the movement. Let's go.
Thank you, Gina, for that generous introduction. As I hope most of you in this room already know, Gina is the most talented actor.
So as you can see here, very important that Natalie Portman here was already introduced, so she will not be doing this during the speech.
Tiffany, Emma, Regina, Lena, I would be humbled just to shake your hands, not to mention share this honor and this stage with you. I admire each of you so, so deeply.
So what she does here is called counter-signaling. Counter-signaling is every person, every one of us has a social status, right? And what we're doing, we're actually signaling our social status to other people through our clothes, what are we saying, confident we are, right? And all of this stuff. For instance, if the person is low social status, he can actually buy new clothes, right? I don't know, very expensive watch. And what he will be doing, he will be signaling high social status to others. Now, what's interesting though, that we can signal high social status or low social status. And here in this case, what she does is that she's signaling low social status by saying, hey, I would be humble just to shake your hand or stay on the stage next to you, right? So this is a so but she basically like puts herself a little bit lower than those people in terms of social status. But because she's a high social status, it actually works in her favor. Okay, so you can see it, celebrities, billionaires, right? People with a very, very high social status. She can specifically signal low social status things, and actually it will make their social status even higher.
So, how are you all doing? Are you tired? I am so tired. Oh my God, my son asked me the other day why it looked like I'd been wearing goggles. I was like...
So as you can see here now, she connects with people with the humor, okay? At the beginning, what you need to do is that you need to connect with the audience. You need to show two things, warmth and competence. Look, she is already competent, right? She already has a high social status. People know who she is, so she doesn't really need to show that. However, what she needs to show is warmth. And with this joke, with this smile, laughs, she actually shows that she is, she's very positive towards her audience. Okay, so this is very, very important to establish connection with the people. Okay, before you will start landing the message. Also, it's very interesting here that this makes the mood of the presentation, lifts the mood of the presentation, right? The speech, that now they're at the high, because right now what we will see, it will be a very, very big drop.
Anyway, it's been a rough couple weeks, but we've also had an incredible week at Time's Up, the organization I'm here to talk about, because this week we welcomed our first president and CEO, Lisa Borders.
What she does is that she frames the speech, basically tells, hey guys, in this speech we will talk about this. And now we jump into the middle part of the speech, actually. Now the speech really starts.
So I came to the first Time's Up meeting almost exactly 1 year ago, after the shattering reports by Megan Twohey, Jodi Kantor, and Ronan Farrow were published about Harvey Weinstein. I had heard the stories, of course, about Harvey,
She starts this speech with the storytelling, right? That how she joined that, right? With her personal experience, her personal story. And now what she does, you can actually even see this by her body language. Now she's like nervous, like and very upset. And now what she will be doing, she will be dropping the emotions of the audience. She will be dropping it very, very, very low, okay?
But was horrified to learn the extent of his abuse. However, the part of the story I had never considered before was how many women were forcibly removed from our industry because of his retaliatory behavior.
So drops the mood, shows the example.
As Jodi Kantor noted, Weinstein's abuse was so pervasive that a whole generation of actresses had been pushed out of our industry and had been deprived of decades of work and the payment that accompanies it. But what other women in our industry and in other industries have been silenced and shut out in this way?
So as you can see here, she drops the mood, okay? So basically she's been talking about this for 3 minutes, okay? Very, very emotional language, right? Personally connect the audience, because lots of people there were women, right, in the audience. So now the mood is very, very low, right? Very, very negative mood of the speech. And now what she actually does is that once she used this vivid language, now she will be transitioning to the problem actually that she will be talking about. And because the mood is already low, we will see how this negative mood transfers to something else that she actually wants to talk about. Let's see, that's actually a very, very interesting transition.
I had always wondered why there was still unequal representation in nearly every industry, and particularly in positions of leadership and power, when graduate schools have been consistently enrolling equal amounts of men and women. I wondered, why do women graduate 50-50 from law schools? And
as you can see here, what she does, she transitions from that Harvey Weinstein problem, right, to another problem, but she says, hey, here's another problem, and she just supports it with statistics, okay? So she uses just logical data. But if she just started the speech by saying, hey, here's an inequality of pay, here's the inequality of this thing or that thing and that thing, it actually wouldn't really sound that influential. But because she was talking this emotional story beforehand, this emotion, this negativity transfers to the problem. So she doesn't really need to explain it more. It's already very, very negative. That's actually very, very interesting how she did that. That's a very, very smart transition. I love that.
Yet they make up only 20% of law firm partnerships. Why do women graduate 50-50 from all business schools and yet make up only 10.6% of the Fortune 500 boards and 4.8% of Fortune 500 CEOs?
Now she supports her claims with some statistics. Look, I don't really know if we can definitely find statistics that doesn't really support what she's saying. However, she found some specific statistics that supports her idea. Okay, so this can be considered a logical fallacy that is called cherry picking, but that's all right. Okay, so she makes a statement and she supported it with some logical evidence.
So there's this theory that a lot of people say that women drop out of the workforce to focus on motherhood, or because the workplace isn't conducive enough to rearing children. And I used to believe that.
So what she does here, it's called steel manning. So what is a steel manning? She makes a statement, right? So she makes a statement, hey, first of all, here's an inequality, and supports it with some data, with some statistics. Great. But what usually can happen is that people in the audience or people who are listening to it can have some counter arguments. They can say, well, yeah, statistics shows that, but this is because of and state some counter argument. Okay. So what she does here is that, well, whoever was writing the speech, they thought about these counter arguments beforehand. And now what it will be doing, she will be addressing these counter arguments. So it will be impossible actually to debate about that. So basically she says, hey, here's what I'm saying. Well, you might think that this is because of that. No, it's not. And I'm going to prove it to you. And then later she will also say, hey, you might also think that this is because of that. No, it's wrong. Let me prove it to you. Okay, so because of that, she actually sounds more persuasive. Instead of ignoring possible counter arguments, she addresses it right away and persuading people more and more.
A woman spends hundreds of thousands of dollars on law school and all the time and hard work to graduate and all the hours and stress to pass the bar, and then works for years at a law firm and then gives up her 6 or 7 figure job that she loves and has invested so much time into because she never considered she might need to find childcare for her kid. And a woman who...
What I love about it and why I decided actually to watch this specific speech is that she's an actress. And because of that, her delivery is on point. You can see that when she was really emotional in a positive mood at the beginning, she was really emotional. And now when she's really upset, right? When she's really, feels this inequality, like she's really showing this with her nonverbal communication. She's 1000% congruent with that. I remember I was reviewing this Ivanka Trump speech, and when I was reviewing it, I actually noticed some parts when she was not really congruent to what she's saying. But here, she's 100% living it, okay? She sounds very, very persuasive also because she really cares about what she's saying and believes in what she's saying. And that's very, very important, okay? Not only what you say, but how you're saying it.
People make the argument that we see so few female directors and DPs and camera departments and VFX supervisors, like every job, because set life isn't conducive to family life. Well, what about the hair and makeup and wardrobe departments? They're entirely female, and they figure out how to work on movies and TV shows.
Here, what she will be doing right now, she will be making a conclusion, okay? So basically, speech and emotions during the speech works like that. Is that, first of all, right, so she started with an introduction. Then after that, here, now she states the problem and shows that the problem is real and steel manning, right, defeated all the counter arguments. And now what she will be doing, she will be transitioning to another part, to the solution, right? So here, introduction, problem, solution. Okay, so this is a 3-part of this speech.
Stop saying that women are choosing to drop out of the workforce because of their families. That's wrong. It's wrong. Let's not say that these are the reasons women are leaving the workforce. Let's be clear. The reason women in nearly every industry are not represented in powerful positions is because women are being discriminated against or retaliated against for hiring and for promotion. When they do get the jobs, they are often being harassed and assaulted.
As you can see here now, she makes a very, very big conclusion of everything that she said, that the real problem is this. And now they'll be transitioning to the solution of the problem.
That is why our first action at Time's Up was to start the Time's Up Legal Defense Fund with the National Women's Law Center.
So now what she does here is that she basically transitions to the solution. And what solution? This is what we're doing. And well, she says what they've done so far, right?
The first year, our Time's Up Legal Defense Fund has served more than 3,500 people, from workers at McDonald's to prison guards to military personnel to women in our own industry who have faced gender-based harassment, discrimination, coercion, and assault.
Here, very important that now she talks about this Time's Up organization. And what she needs to do, she needs to sell the idea that this organization is legit. And how she does that? She shows that the proof of work, right? The success story that, hey, we've done this, we've done this, we've done this.
Helped Melanie Kohler triumph against Brett Ratner and his lawyer Marty Singer. Pay attention to who you're hiring as your lawyers, who tried to use Brett's enormous financial advantage over her to legally bully her into silence.
What she does here is that she uses the example that is relevant for the target audience, okay? You always want to adjust your speech to the specific target audience so your message will sound way more persuasive and influential. During all of the speech, okay, she will be using examples that are relevant for this group of people. Again, and who those people are? They're celebrities and people who work in the movie industry.
So what can you do? First, money. You can give or you can raise money for the Legal Defense Fund. Second, gather. Meet with...
So as you can see here now, the first thing that she does is that the first thing that you can do, you can actually give money. Okay, so that's actually the idea of the speech itself. But I think that it would look weird if basically this would be the main goal of the speech, like, hey guys, right, talking. What you need to do, give us money. I think that it would just look bad. So what they decided to do instead is that they decided just to say this is like step one of the things, so it would look like more like a product placement. Is that in the end of the day, this speech is like kind of about raising money, but not really about raising money. For the audience, this is a speech about joining the movement. But partially how you can join the movement is to raise money. So this is actually PR at its finest. That's basically a product placement.
Other women and see what changes you want to make. Through Time's Up or On Your Own, gathering has been the central principle of what we do and has created every action we have taken. Third, listen. If any group you're in has...
See, now she provides like other things that you can do, other options. So it doesn't really sound like, she's trying to sell you something.
Are the most powerful women in our industry. All you in this room have the power to negotiate for equal pay or grant equal pay or popularize equal pay in our culture. Be embarrassed if everyone in your workplace looks like you.
So now here she actually gives specific action step for the target audience. As you can see here, the message is very, very optimized to the people that she's talking to. She uses examples from the industry, she uses statistics from the industry, cases that are relevant to the industry, and specific steps for this audience.
Stop the rhetoric that a woman is crazy or difficult. If a man says to you that a woman is crazy or difficult, ask him, what bad thing did you do to her?
Now, okay, saying something that's really, really resonating with the audience and the audience approves the message. So this is basically what the solution part. Now, there is a last part actually in the speech where she will be transitioning. Now, this was the part that was called solution, right? And now here we're going into the outro part, right? So the end. And in the end, we will have a very, very motivating call to action.
So I want to leave off with a reminder that our family of animals, mammals, is named after us, women, because of our mammary glands. Yes, the most remarkable thing about our whole type of animal is our boobs. We know that, men know that, and babies definitely know that.
So she makes actually this transition by saying, this is because of our boobs.
Many men are behaving like we live in a zero-sum game, that if women get the respect, access, and value they deserve, that men will lose theirs. But we know the message of the mammaries. The more milk you give, the more milk you make.
Now, as you can see here, now it's actually becomes a very, very inspirational. And I like the delivery, right? The more milk you give, the more milk you make, right? So the delivery is really on point. And this will be right now the culmination of the inspiration part. Let's watch that.
So my last challenge to everyone in this room is to spread your fire. Use your fire to light other women's torches and make more light and more heat for all of us. If every powerful woman in this room pledges to hire 3 women in jobs this year that women don't usually get, just pick 3 jobs that you get to choose and light a woman's torch. That light will multiply and the heat will intensify for all of us. Do you all pledge with me? Love you.
This is a very, very motivational call to action, right? So she's doing it, and her last words is like, hey, do you all pledge with me? So say yes, and the ending. Okay, so very, very, very inspirational ending. Very, very great speech. I honestly loved almost everything in this speech. It was really, really great. Very, very well done. honestly didn't really like the two things. First of all, I didn't really like that she was reading the speech. Yes, a lot of people are reading the speech, but still, if you're not reading it, if you're saying it, you sound way, way more persuasive. I understand that maybe she didn't really have a lot of time to learn that by heart. I get it, okay, but this is the thing that definitely could be improved. And another thing is that I think that this transition with the boobs, I think this was the weakest part, okay? I'm not really saying it was like, super bad, but in my opinion, this is the weakest link in all of the speech that was there. But overall, besides that, the speech was great. Her delivery was great. How she's really believing in what she's saying, really passionate, really emotional, and really, as you can see here, if you can watch this video and you can see how actually she really non-verbally translates her mood. Like at the beginning, she's very humble. When she's humble, she's really showing that she's humble. When she's happy, she's showing that. Now, when she's really passionate and angry, she shows it in her delivery. And then when she's motivating the audience, she's motivating the audience, right? She's never like that. Like there's lots of speakers there who are just flat. They just have the same emotional mood all the time, but not her. She's really, jumping from here, there, here. This is really, really the masterclass how you have to deliver the speech. So this is it. Really beautiful speech. I really loved it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know if there's any other speech that I should watch and analyze. My name is Ikeda. It was Influence Lab, and I'll see you next time.